Hey superstars, it's your girl Malika, aka Miss Magic, back with another episode of Cooking with Miss Magic. Today we're going to do my spicy tuna croissant melt. Alright, let's get started. First you're going to need a bowl, a spoon. I'm using 10 jars of tuna fish, half oil, half water, salt, a cayenne pepper, garlic pepper, which isn't pictured here. The description will be down below. Onion powder, celery salt, which is a must. We got Miracle Whip, sandwich spread. I didn't use the mustard. You can if you want. Green pepper, onion, jalapeno pepper, eggs, 2 eggs. If you don't like egg, you don't have to use it. Pepper jack cheese, celery, and of course the croissants. There might be a few ingredients that I don't have pictured here, but if I use them, like I said, I will mention it and I will post it down below. Okay, first thing we're going to do, if you're using eggs, go ahead and start boiling them. You're going to boil them for about 5 minutes after they start boiling. Next, you're going to open up your tuna fish cans. I know everybody really knows how to do this, but just in case you don't, I usually run really hot water if I'm doing the oil and do it over the sink because it's kind of messy. And you just squeeze the can below. I do the oil first because I just like to put the water ones on top. And the reason why I mix the two is because I don't want my tuna fish to be too oily, but I just don't want to use tuna fish in water either because that tends to make it a little dry. So I always use half and half. 10 cans of tuna fish. No, I did 12 cans of tuna fish. Will make enough to serve like 8 to 10 people. So, and if you have a small family or a medium-sized family, you'll have some leftovers. When you get done, you clean up, rinse out your sink. Well, that's with the oil. Now I'm gonna start with the water. Put it all in a bowl and then put the bowl to the side until you get ready to use it. Okay, let's now start chopping up our vegetables. I'm started with the green pepper. I usually start with the less pungent vegetable first and end with the most pungent, which is onions and the jalapeno pepper. So I chop mine up. I have a little food processor which helps out tremendously. Oh my God, that thing is a lifesaver. I think I got it from Aldi's. But if you have a food processor, it's better to use your food processor. Look at that. Easy. That's all you got to do. Look at that. Gone. Boom. Food process in 2 seconds. That thing is a lifesaver. If I ever see any more, I'm going to get about 10 of them. Anywho, if you don't have a food processor, you got to do it the old-fashioned way. You want to chop your vegetables really thin because you don't want people crunching on your vegetables in your tuna fish. You want a little crunch, but not a lot. So I really, really, really suggest if you're going to make tuna fish to have a food processor. I'm doing the onions now, putting it in my little, that thing is a miracle. I don't know what, it's just a miracle. Look at that. Finely chopped. And you could, the longer you do it, the more fine that your vegetables become. So it's all up to you. It doesn't have to be finely chopped. You could do it 2-3 times. Okay, now I'm doing the celery. I was supposed to do the celery before the onions, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll go ahead and chop up you 2 stalks of celery. And everything about tuna is what you prefer. So if you prefer less celery in your tuna, that's fine. If you prefer more onions in your tuna, that's fine. If you prefer no onions in your tuna, that's fine. It's all up to you. And that's the same thing going with the heat when I'm about to do the jalapeno pepper. I like a little heat. I like to have a little spice. So I'm only doing, make sure when you do the jalapenos that you remove all seeds. You don't want people chomping on the seeds because if they chomp into the seed, they're going to get a surprise. It's going to be hot. But remove all the seeds, then rinse it. I already rinsed it, rinsed all the seeds off. Chop that up. I'm going to put that in my food processor as well. But back to what I was saying. I only use 1 jalapeno. If you want your tuna to be spicier, use 2. Use 3. Use 4. However you want your spice. And I am going to add cayenne pepper to it too. So, dill weed. Okay, now I'm doing my spices. I'm sorry. Dill weed, pepper. Dill weed is very important because it gives the tuna like the little twang. Garlic powder, which I didn't have at first, but you definitely need garlic powder. I'm eyeballing, y'all, so I can say maybe, oh, it's hard. Teaspoon of dill, 2 tablespoons of garlic. I'll put what I think in the bottom description, but right now, while I'm making my tuna, I eyeball. I like to mix all of my seasonings together. Gotta have that celery salt. That celery salt is what's gonna make your tuna pop. Trust me, if you do not have celery salt, you need to go to the store and get it. So I mix up my seasonings first. I do not put my seasonings in one by one because that don't make sense. All right, get your tuna, stir it up real good. Get the oil and the water mixed together before you start mixing. Now put in all your vegetables that you just chopped. Stir them up real good. Real good. All right. Once you got that stirred up, put your seasoning in. I don't do it all at one time. Put, a quarter in, then put a quarter more in, then stir it up, and that just ensures that it's even. Okay, now I'm going to cut up my egg. Like I said, if you don't want egg in your tuna, you can leave this part out. But I love egg in my tuna. What's a tuna sandwich without egg in it? I'm sorry. Okay. Now I did 2 eggs. And 1 egg would be enough, but I love eggs, so 2 eggs is what I'm gonna do. All right, stir that up real good. Well, wash your hands first. Okay, guys, once you've done that, you're going to taste it and see what your seasonings that you may or may not need more of. I think I needed more pepper. I need a little bit more of everything. Salt, more dill weed, little pepper. I was kind of shy on the ingredients, which I'll take care of. So you always want to taste before you put in the mayonnaise. The Miracle Whip. All right, guys, we are now ready to add our Miracle Whip. I'm going to add the 1/2 to 3/4 of the jar. Stir it in real good, and that's for 12 cans of tuna fish. So 1/2 of the jar to 3/4 of the jar. So stir that in real good. Now I'm putting in about 1/4 of sandwich spread. That gives it a little spice. And then 2 heaping tablespoons of sweet relish. And mix that all in. Now I'm going to add my cayenne. And like I said, if you want a little bit more heat, you can add more cayenne. It's up to you. Taste it. See, add a little bit at a time and taste it as you go. And that way you'll know if it's too spicy. If it's spicy enough. You can always add more. Okay. So that's your tuna fish. Now we're going to toast our croissants. We're going to put your broiler on 525. Well, but the broiler is on 525 or 500. Then you're going to melt you a little butter in a little container. Just a little bit, just enough to brush the croissants. Oh, I want to mention too, if you're going to present your tuna at a party, put a little paprika on it so it'll look cute. And we're making sandwiches, so I didn't need to do that. All right, you got to cut your croissants in half, not all the way open, just enough so you can stuff your tuna in there, but enough so you can turn it over. Then you're going to lay them flat out on your pan after you cut them open. Show you upside down. Okay, now you're going to baste your croissants with butter. So you take your basting brush and just dabble your butter on top of the croissants. Make sure they're all covered. And now they're going to go in the broiler for about 1 minute. Watch closely because you do not want you want a little brown on there, but you do not want them to burn. It might. All right, about 45 seconds to a minute. You're going to take them out and make sure you got your glove on. And as you see, they're nicely toasted, nice and brown. They look delicious. All right, guys. Now we're going to turn them over and we're going to put on our pepper jack cheese. I use pepper jack cheese because it brings the flavor of that tuna out. You're going to thank me later. It's delicious, plus it adds a little bit more kick to your spicy tuna. All right, I break mine in half. You can use the whole slice if you like, depending on how much cheese you like, or don't use any cheese if you don't like cheese, but this is a melt, so we're using cheese. And now you're going to pop it back into the toaster for about 30 seconds, 25 seconds to 30 seconds. Watch it closely. The magic of television, though. We popping it out now. And you see, whoa, almost fell on the floor. As you see, they are done. Okay, now you can slather it with Miracle Whip. mustard, whatever you want on your sandwich. Nothing is fine. Now you go ahead and put you a nice heap of the tuna fish that we made on your sandwiches, and you all are good to go. A nice, refreshing lunch, dinner, breakfast, however you want it. And there you are. That is the delectable tuna melt on croissant. All right, guys. And you don't just have to have it on a bread. For my dinner, I chose to have it with a salad, as I'm about to show you, with romaine lettuce and tomato. I love it like that. I love to scoop it onto my tomatoes, eat it like that. And then as an after dinner snack, my husband usually eats a little bit with his crackers. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I love you. I'll see you in the next video.